Well, I've got two Douglas councillors with us. We're standing here in the park. A very nice day for this interview. First of all, congratulations, Devon. Obviously, you just got there in the by-election. Well done.
Thank you very much. I mean, there was obviously a lot of enthusiasm from folks who were young. There were a lot of first-time voters. Turnout itself could have been higher, but
19% is low, isn't it? Although apparently it's quite good for a by-election.
For a by-election, it's one of the highest in the by-election in Derby Ward in many, many years. And for an election that was widely criticised by many, it is particularly high in the fact that many people themselves are no longer in the country because their students away. There's a lot of folks who are in nursing homes who can't be accessed and don't vote, and there's a lot of people who work full-time who don't vote.
Yeah, and the leader wasn't particularly keen on having this by-election, I believe, right?
No, yeah, and especially given the fact that this ward is being abolished pretty soon. So we're pretty happy with the result as it's come out. I mean, the fact that it's a 62% vote and an 80% vote for the Labour Party candidates shows a clear mandate there.
Well, we've got an interview with the head of the Labour Party. Jodie's going to be on in the next few days. Come in here, Andrew, just don't disappear from us, that's it, so we'll see you. We were here today, though, to talk about what's going in front of Tynwald this week, which is this 20-mile-an-hour urban area speed limit. And your thoughts?
Well, we've got the motion going before Tynwald from Bill Shimmons, which is for 20 mile an hour in urban areas. And, I mean, this is an area that I've been working in Derby Square, where between sort of 4 and 6, it's like a drag race coming through, and the residents are quite vocal about their concerns. The area isn't unique in Douglas at all. I mean, we know from public meetings that Anne Corlett raised that there's very similar concerns in the Ballacamine area, where both the speed and the quantity of traffic is of great concern to the residents.
Okay, so you were up for the 20 mile an hour limits in any made-up area, is it, or what exactly?
For me, it's less about the 20 mile an hour speed limit or speed humps or even the debate about speed cameras. I think these are... Sometimes we're looking at things that were done in Britain 20 years ago. I think we should be looking further afield, where, particularly to Holland, where certain UK cities are looking as well. They have a system of filtered streets. The idea is, well, we've got a couple of filters in Douglas. We've got one at Queen's Square, we've got another outside Isola restaurant. And the idea is they're completely permeable for anybody in a mobility scooter, on foot or on a bicycle, but you can't use the residential street as a shortcut.
And your thoughts as well?
I mean, when you talk to residents, the number one concern, apart from affordable housing, is the fact that our transport infrastructure isn't where it needs to be. Our roads were built hundreds of years ago before the advent of motor vehicles. And the Isle of Man, and particularly Douglas, has one of the highest vehicle ownership rates in Western Europe. So what we need to start looking toward is alternatives toward every single family having 2 to 3 cars. The issues from smog, pollution, parking, traffic, collisions and accidents are far higher than a country of our profile, our wealth and our demographic size should theoretically have. So we need to start looking towards solutions that have been implemented in place like Amsterdam, the Netherlands, toward building a better, more livable city.
But are you in favour of 20 mile an hour limits?
Yes, of course. I mean, because if you look at many other areas within the island, like Onken, you already see 20 mile an hour speed limits in many of the residential streets, or the streets are specifically designed in ways to reduce traffic speed. There's no reason when there are kids or elderly people or disabled people trying to cross the road that people should be able to race through a narrow road at 60 or 70 or 30 miles an hour. It's not safe. Okay,
and you think this is going to go through?
Well, I hope so. It depends what the Tynwald members do. We know it's a combined vote of the two houses, so we'll see. We'll see what happens with any of the amendments as well.
Finally, are you looking forward to your first sitting with Douglas Corporation? Council, should we say?
I am excited. The number one priority needs to be affordable housing, and this will be addressed. But then many of the concerns of the residents that I have spoken to are also going to be brought up, and these specifically include the lack of green spaces and lack of access to parking.
Yeah, you're very keen on the housing. I know you've seen some pictures that you put on social media about some places you went to see, not in good nick.
Yeah, I mean, we've solved many of the other glaring problems of the late 19th century, but appalling or substandard housing conditions, people paying half their wages in rents for places covered in black mould, is not acceptable. And in the 8th richest country on earth, people should have decent living conditions, and you should be able to feel safe and comfortable within your own city.